This is Kirk Windstein of CROWBAR and Kingdom of Sorrow. We're here in Brooklyn at St. Vitus Bar. Tonight is the 10th anniversary of Dime's death. So this whole set's going to go out to him. We want to throw up horns to him. We love him, miss him, and, God bless. And we're going to tear it up tonight for Dime. Awesome.
We're at St. Vitus Bar in Brooklyn, New York. I don't think you need an introduction, but in case they're watching and saying, hey, who's that cool dude with a beard? KIRK WINDSTEIN from CROWBAR, Kingdom of Sorrow. Welcome back to New York. How are you, man?
Doing good. Glad to be here tonight. It should rock. It's sold out. It's going to be hot, sweaty, and loud. Just the way we like it.
Do you still have a connection with New York as far as playing small clubs like this?
Yeah, I mean, we play everything because we do a lot of festivals in Europe. So, tonight's intimate, 300, whatever, 350, whatever it holds. But these are a lot of fun. It's all fun. A lot of people are like, what do you prefer? It's like, if it's got a really good sound system, which it sounded killer at sound check. It's loud as shit, seriously, which is good. But it's got a really good sound system. I like the small, intimate thing. But at the same time, it's two different worlds. I mean, if you're playing in a fucking, open air, 60,000 people, festival or something, it's a completely different thing. I mean, the barricades are 20 feet away and you're 30 feet in the air or whatever on these giant stages. So I enjoy both equally, really. It's just two different things.
And I know you specifically, and actually all your brothers in all your bands, you guys always bring it the same way. It's not like you're going to do something different. No, you just kind of, you play your music. You don't let the music play you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we're about as, no frills as you can get. I mean, we don't even have guitar techs or anything. We set up our own shit. We come in, plug it in, kick ass for about an hour and 10 minutes, pack our shit up and leave.
With that said, do you have a pretty simple guitar setup when it comes to what you use?
It's super simple. I use Randall RG3003, which is a new version of the old ones I used to use, which Dime actually introduced me to, and this is actually the 10th anniversary today of that. So this whole show is going to go out to Dime, of course, but those new Randall RG3003, it's the closest thing to the old 80s ones that I found. I have like 7 of those, but they're beat to shit, and these are 300 watts, so I got 2 of these. All I do is run 1 head and 2 cabs, metal zone pedal, level on 10, drive on 0. It's like a clean boost, EQ at 12 o'clock. That's it.
So it literally takes you minutes to set it up.
Yeah, a couple of minutes, minute, whatever. All I gotta do is plug in my pedal and my tuner, and I already got my speaker cables hooked up, so I'm ready to roll.
You usually scratch your head when you see a guitar player, maybe a younger player, setting up all these crazy things, and then you're like, okay, that was not necessary, because obviously you know how to get a good sound of your guitar.
It just is, it's two ways of thinking about it. It's like Ken from On Earth was showing me his rig. I wouldn't even know how to operate it. Now, the rig sounds amazing. It does. He's got a fucking laptop and everything else up there, and it's got all this shit where if he goes into a lead, the tone automatically changes for him, all his effects. I'm just too old school. Like me, when I got my new heads, I take the foot switch stuff and all that kind of crap and throw it away. I don't use effects loop, any of that shit. I'm old school. I just plug in the front of the head and roll. So if you get a good tone, I get in my opinion at least, get a really heavy tone out of a very simple rig, but whatever it takes, But it's one thing I find funny is a lot of kids, or not kids, but some of the local bands I'll see, and they buy all this, have all this crazy vintage gear and all, and it's just like the tone's not there really, I don't know, but it's just whatever you prefer. I mean, there's no wrong or right, I have inside jokes with some of my friends, like Jimmy Bauer, for instance, about how different our guitar tones are, and he thinks mine sucks, I think his sucks, and but it's in fun, it's all in fun, and it has been forever. But it just there's no right or wrong, dude. There's no rules in this thing. You just do what you do, play what you play, and if you're having fun and people dig it, it's all good.
It's all about having fun, and that's something you brought Dimebag up before. Obviously, we got to talk about Dimebag, and that's something that he always transmitted, always having fun off stage, but especially on stage. There was never a moment that you were watching him as a fan that you were like, oh, he's bored doing that. Every single part was like from the heart.
Yep, absolutely. Never a dull moment ever with Dime. I mean, people are always they always ask what's the craziest thing ever happened on tour, blah blah blah, and I always tell them there's no one particular thing, but you can bet your ass Dime was involved, and it's the truth. And the thing that I really enjoy about it is it really wasn't anything crazy like wild and debauchery and all this kind of bullshit. It was just a bunch of dudes acting like little kids getting drunk, just doing stupid, goofy stuff and laughing our asses off. But it was always a blast, you know.
Well, you had to make sure you made it to the next show. You couldn't get arrested because then there's no show.
Yeah, we just did. I mean, he would never just sit in the dressing room and be bored. He'd make up some kind of game or something. There was always, his mom was always going. There was always something crazy was going to happen. And if he had his video camera, Bobby Tongs at the camera, and he kind of had that certain little smile, there was some kind of trick being played on you. I'd be like, oh fuck, here we go. So.
Any tricks that he played on you in particular that went on the home video, or maybe never made it to the home video?
Well, we all know about the Hulk thing, but I didn't know it was going to happen that night. We had talked about it a few nights earlier, and that happened at Eagles Auditorium in Milwaukee. And when I came off stage, he already had the outfit, the wig, the eyebrows, the shoes, everything, and had all the paint and all that. They had like the runner people like painting me all up. I didn't know it was going to happen. He's like, dude, go to the dressing room for a second. I saw all the shit. I'm like, dude, he goes, it's going down tonight. So we did that, but I remember being on tour with him. I think we were in St. Louis. And that look that I'm telling you that he would have. I remember being on stage jamming, and I kind of look over to the left, and he's holding a video camera, and I noticed there's like a black garbage bag kind of over some of the camera, and he's just got that smile going on, and I'm just like, oh, he might be up to something. I don't know. So we're jamming, and all of a sudden it was loud as shit, huge big fucking PA, nice auditorium, and like a little piece of the ceiling, I'm thinking falls down, and I'm like, Jesus, it's so loud, fucking low ends rattling the paint off the ceiling. Well, some more comes, and I start looking around, everybody's cracking up laughing, and they had bags of like fake little, styrofoam snow or whatever up in the lighting rigs that broke open and like basically snowed on us. We had to end the show early. Like it got all stuck up in the strings. It was in the pickups, all over the drums. The cymbal. We couldn't even play anymore. We were just cracking up laughing, and he's filming all the shit. And I remember our poor, at the time, the guys that were teching for us and all, had to get like a wet dry vac thing, and they had to take apart the guitars, the cabin, everything, and just vacuum all the little fucking thousands of little styrofoam snow things or whatever they were. But it was always up to something, man. It was always a good time.
What is the most valuable lesson that he taught you as a friend? Because I imagine you both being guitar players, you talk some business here and there, give each other tips. But as a person, what did he teach you?
Probably just to have fun, man. Don't take things seriously. I mean, we had a lot in common, playing guitar, obviously. Growing up Kiss fanatics and Van Halen, and when Phil first joined, obviously I knew Phil first, but me and Dime just kind of hit it off. It's kind of like drinking buddies, and just had we kind of just pal around a lot. So really, just probably the biggest thing I learned from him was to have fun in life, and he had fun every second that he was here.
Do you remember where you were 10 years ago when you heard the news about Dime?
Yep, I was laying in bed with my daughter and my ex-wife, and my cell phone kept ringing. There was a friend of mine, Eddie Mapp, who was doing sound for Evanescence, I think, at the time, and he was with their manager, and he called me 3 times in a row, and then my friend Frey Thieler called me back right after, and he told me what had happened. That's what Eddie was calling about. So then I called Rex and Phil, of course, and I was on the phone with them until the sun came up, basically. So it's weird that it's been 10 years, I just remember it was just so surreal, and I just remember being on the phone with Rex and Phil on and off, for most of the night and not sleeping much. And then I remember like thinking it didn't really happen, laying on the couch, and then I woke up and it's on the news, CNN or whatever, like all nonstop, and I'm just like, I couldn't, I just wanted to close my eyes and pretend like it really didn't happen, but it did. So, I mean, I vividly remember the phone calls, having a conversation, all of that shit. It's horrible.
And after the fact, because obviously you were down, one of the first musicians to work with Phil again, did you feel that people were very unfair to him, kind of like pointing the finger at him for what happened?
Oh, yeah. For the longest time, I felt horrible because, it's a very touchy subject, but I mean, there's only one person to blame, and that's the fucking Nathan Gale or whatever the asshole that did it, and that's the truth, you can point fingers at everybody else and blame. And when something that tragic happens, it's normal. People can't accept it. It's not real. It's beyond real, you know. So it's like people have to blame something or someone for a tragedy that's terrible, you know. So who do you blame? So a lot of people, I think, you know, I think unfairly pointed the finger at Phil. All that's in the past now, thankfully, and people, you know, realize who is at fault, the asshole that did it, and it's just one of the, you know, it's a tragedy. I mean, we think, all of us think about it. I'll tell you what, it changed everything forever. All of us think about that every night that we're on stage, because you never know. You know, I mean, I feel a sense of security when I see, like the other night we were in Pennsylvania, the guys got the metal detector, you know, but they're checking everybody coming through the door. Whenever we have that stuff, it makes you feel better, you know. And when I was with Down and we had security, I mean, they'd confiscate, not guns, but they'd confiscate all kind of fucking knives and throwing stars and, you know, all these shanks and all kind of shit that people were trying to sneak in. It was really scary, you know, for the longest time. I mean, Down picked up in the with our first European tour in the summer of 2006. It was only, you know, 2.5 years after that happened. So, you know, security was extremely tight, obviously, because of Phil playing in the band with them, number one, and then with a lot of people, you know, pointing the finger at Phil. But it's forever changed, you know, what we do. I mean, I'll never, that's what people say. Do you miss him? I'm like, of course. And it's like, he's never not, I mean, my life is playing music. And, you know, tonight, I mean, Jesus, well, especially being the 10th anniversary, but it's like I can't go anywhere. You know, I can't play a show, a festival, anything, be on tour where people aren't wearing Dimebag shirts and Pantera shirts every fucking day. I'm on a computer every day, so there's constantly, I see the stuff, and it's just, when I'm set foot on stage, that's always in the back of my mind. It's always forever going to be in all of our minds, I think.